Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I'm back again, taking another long overdue walk in South Shore area, trying to burn some calories and trying to get that body right by walking around. I need to actually take a more aggressive approach with this thing and start working out more, but I'm lazy. I'm, enjoying being lazy. So what can I say? So this is what we're left with: walks in the park. And then on top of that, most of the gyms have been closed. I think actually the gym that I go to, Planet Fitness, has recently opened. So I'm anxious to actually get back into gym and try to get back into swinging things. So man, this grass is really getting out of hand. It looks like nobody's actually maintaining this stuff. Like I said in a couple of videos before, I used to come here like maybe 15 years ago, and it was kind of like the Garden of Eden. Now, I don't know what to call it. It's still beautiful in its own sense, in the sense that you're getting nature raw. You're getting raw nature. And if you live in the city, it's not every day that you get to be in an environment like this. Most of us are just used to a concrete jungle, so maybe that's something else I need to put on my agenda, and maybe go to the forest preserves and start going for walks and things like that. But anyway, so I guess what I want to talk about today is Ron Jeremy. Many of you may know he was recently indicted, and I believe that he's actually being held in custody, right? I believe he's actually incarcerated, awaiting a bail hearing, right? Now, I'm going to be upfront with you. I try to always be upfront on my channel. I try not to over exaggerate things. I mean, every once in a while I'll probably over exaggerate for entertainment purposes, but for the most part, my channel, I try to give you the truth. And if it's not the truth, it's the truth as I see it. It may not be your truth or the truth as you see it, but it's going to be pretty much my perspective of the truth. But in this situation, I don't know all the details, and I'm just coming up telling you up front I don't know all the details. I mean, I just heard about this story this morning. I actually checked out a couple of other YouTube channels that had pieces of this story. And you know what I like to do? I like to actually get the indictment. I actually like to go through the details of that indictment, and I actually like to go through it step by step. And in this situation, I haven't done that, right? I haven't even begun to look at the indictment. So I'm just letting you know that up front. I'm hoping to get to that. But right now, I just have a lot of things going on in my life, and I may not get to it in a timely fashion. But on the same token, I still want to express my opinion on what I do know. Again, I don't know all the details, so me trying to give some type of conclusive verdict on this thing is not going to be a good idea. So you just have to understand that I'm just expressing my initial thoughts on this thing. So my initial thoughts, and with the information that I do have, I don't know if it's correct information, but with the information that I do have, I've heard that he's been arrested and he is currently in jail, awaiting a bail hearing or something like of that nature. And the accusation is that he raped several women. 2 women were allegedly raped in a bar. That's the accusation. And then another woman was allegedly raped in her own home. Okay? So, with that said, let me just get into it and just give you my initial thoughts on this type of stuff. My initial thoughts is, number one, we are in the age of the Me Too movement. And it's like, just when you think things are dying down, a story pops up that kind of keeps the Me Too movement fresh. Now, I believe that the Me Too movement is important. I believe it is valid, but I believe in some cases you have invalid or bogus accusations. And initially, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, initially, I'm going to say that this is probably going to be one of them. Why do I say this without knowing the details? Without knowing the details, right now, I believe Ron Jeremy is about 90 years old. He's about 90 years old. So these accusations probably, from what I'm told, occurred around 2004, right? So in 2004, that would have roughly placed Ron Jeremy probably at 84 years old. So first off, I have to ask, what type of rape are we talking about? Are you alleging that he forcibly raped you? And if that's your accusation, are you saying that you let an 84-year-old man hold you down and rape you? Is that the accusation that you're going with here? Right? Again, we don't know the charges. Everybody knows there's different types of rape, right? You know, there's a rape where, oh, there's some guys enjoying the beach. I don't know if I'd be out here on these sharp rocks and mess around and cut my nuts off, but you know, they're definitely doing it. So at any rate, what type of rape are we talking about? What type of rape are we talking about? Right? Are you saying it's forceful rape? Right? Are you saying you let an 84-year-old elderly man hold you down and forcefully rape you? Is that what you're alleging? Right? You know, so if that's what you're alleging, to me, something like that really doesn't make sense unless it's a situation where, you know, he was basically raping someone that was disabled. Right? So if the person is disabled or they're incapacitated or something like that, I can see that happening. Hey, how you guys doing? But if the person is not incapacitated and there's nothing wrong with them, then I can't believe an accusation like that, because this guy is 84 years old. And if anyone has seen Ron Jeremy, you know damn well he doesn't look to have the strength to be holding somebody down. He doesn't look to have the strength to force himself on somebody. If anything, it would be the contrary. He would have a hard time fighting off someone who's forcibly trying to hold him down or forcibly trying to hurt him, right? You know, so that's how I see it. Now, we do know there's different types of rape, though. So there's a type of rape where you can give someone a alcoholic beverage, or you can give them drugs, and because they're subdued by the alcohol or they're subdued by the drugs, that, you know, they can't consent. There's that type of rape. Now, I think if that's the accusation, then, you know, maybe Ron Jeremy will have a hard time trying to defend himself against something like that. Like if they're alleging that he held them down. If they're alleging that he gave them some type of drug, or they're alleging that, you know, he got them drunk and then without their consent, they raped him, then that's going to be probably a valid claim if they can prove that he was responsible for drugging him, or if they can prove he knew, even if they bought their own alcohol and they showed up drunk, if they can prove that he knew that they were drunk, he knew that they were under the influence, then yeah, then that's going to be valid. They can pursue that claim against him. But, you know, in a situation like that, I find it really difficult to believe that you're going to be able to prove that someone knew you were drunk, that someone knew that you were, you know, on drugs, and at the same time try to argue that you were incapacitated, because how would you be incapacitated unless, and it really depends on the situation, but I don't see a person being incapacitated and then turn around and say they were conscious enough to say that they informed this guy that this was going on with him. I mean, it's an incongruent statement, you know, so I really wouldn't believe anything like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I think this is going to be a really difficult case to prove. I think on first hand, it just sounds like a bogus case. But again, let's see what the details of the case are. I'm going to try to get to this as soon as possible. I'm going to try to get the indictment. If you guys are watching this and you know where the indictment is, by all means, send me a copy of that indictment so that I can go over it and have a look at it, right? But off the top of my head, to me, it just feels like this is a bogus case, right? That's what this feels like. The other things that, could possibly be coming into play is that there's other individuals involved who hasn't been named yet. Now, this incident is to happened in a bar, right? So another thing that comes to mind, was it a public bar, right? Were there other people around, right? Were there other people around and they didn't assist? Or were there other people around and they participated with holding them down, right? So we really don't know what type of rape we're talking about. So that's probably why it's going to be a little difficult for me to give my opinion on this stuff without knowing the details. And again, I will eventually at some point get to the details, but right now I'm just expressing my initial opinion on this thing. And I'm not sure when I will be able to get to the actual indictment because I have a lot of things that's going on right now. Wow, this walk is really wearing me down. I'm actually walking in the sand right now. And this is a sign that I'm really out of shape here. Really out of shape because I'm already breathing heavy. And it feels like I, need to take a break to catch my breath, right? So, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this Ron Jeremy situation. One of the biggest problems with all this, one of the things we know about Ron Jeremy is that he's a porn star. And I probably should have started with this first. He's a porn star. And he's known for having casual sex with any woman that basically comes along. That's what he does. That's what this guy does. And if you've ever seen him on camera, which I have, and I'm not going to be ashamed to admit, that I've seen him on camera, you'll know that he's not the type of individual. He doesn't appear to be the type of individual that's going to forcibly rape somebody. So that's what makes this whole story a bit unbelievable. That's what makes it unbelievable, is that when you use that term, the first thing that comes to mind is force. The very first thing that comes to mind is force. And it's hard. It's difficult to believe that there was some sort of force involved with all of this. So, that's my initial opinion on this. That's my initial opinion. Leave your questions, comments below. Let me know what you think. Do you think this guy forcefully put himself onto these women? Do you think this guy drugged these women? Do you think this guy gave these women alcohol so that they could lose conscious so that he can then force himself on these women? Let me know what you think. Me personally, I don't think that's the case. I don't see him, number one, forcefully putting himself on these women. And then number two, I don't see him, honestly, believe it or not, like I don't know the guy. I don't know what he will and won't do. I don't know, but I do know that, he's an icon, he's a star, and I don't see somebody known in the porn industry having to need to force themselves onto a woman. What I believe this situation actually is, is a situation whereby there was an agreement and these women probably thought they were going to get a certain amount of money. They didn't get that money. So now they're moving to cash in, right? maybe there was a contract, or maybe there was a verbal agreement, and they feel they got shortchanged, and they are deciding to basically, pursue this guy, right? And I'm wondering who their lawyer is, right? I'm wondering who their lawyer is. Who their lawyer is going to be telling, and it's going to shed a lot of light on this thing. But I'm willing to bet that that was a situation. I'm willing to bet that was a situation. Because honestly, how did this encounter even happen in the first place, right? How did these women come to meet Ron Jeremy, right? More than likely, in my personal opinion, like, everyone knows who Ron Jeremy is. This is a beautiful dance hall. I believe you can rent this thing too, in South Shore. I think I've been in here like once or twice for a ball or something like that. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So I would wonder how these women came into contact with Ron Jeremy. How did they meet? How did they how did they come to know each other, right? And my belief, it was probably under some terms of some type of business arrangement. And because that business arrangement didn't go the way they thought it should go, they're now turning around and alleging rape. That's what I'm seeing happen more often than not. A lot of women are coming out and saying, hey, I was raped. But when you look into the details, you'll come to find out that there was some sort of business arrangement or business agreement. And I'm willing to bet that's probably what happened here. But again, this is all my speculation. None of it are facts. None of it is based on any details I've read in the indictment. I don't know who the victims are, so on and so forth. But at any rate, leave your questions, comments below, and let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.